Cam Ward needs to play a lot in the Tennessee Titans preseason opener against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he's not the only one. I'll explain why, plus tell you which players I'm most excited to watch on today's edition of Locked On Titans.
You are Locked On Titans, your daily Tennessee Titans podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Titans podcast. I am your host, Tyler Rowland. Titans fans, on today's show, we are going to break down everything you need to know heading into the Titans preseason opener against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to talk about why I think Cam and a lot of the other starters need to play a significant amount plus. I'll talk about the players I'm most excited to watch, including the rookie weapons on the offensive side of the ball and some of these young players on the defensive side of the ball as well. We can't leave out how important special teams will be. Plus, I'll tell you who's not going to play in this game for the Titans. Before we dive into all of it, do want to thank you for making the Locked On Titans podcast your first listen each and every day. Remember, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content all year round, always for free. Make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day. Speaking of every day, shout out to my everydayers out there tuning in Monday through Friday. Couldn't do it without you guys. If you aren't an everydayer, you need to be one. The season is right around the corner. Got joint practices with the Atlanta Falcons this week before the next preseason game for the Titans, and Saturday night after the game, I'm going to be here live breaking down everything you need to know coming out of the Titans' first preseason game of the year. But with that being said, Cam Ward needs to play a significant amount in this game, as well as most of the other starters on the team as well. But I want to talk about Cam Ward specifically. So we got a report from Paul Kaharski that Cam Ward is going to play 2 series max. And quite frankly, I think that's the wrong way to go about it. I think that you should play Cam Ward based on how they're playing as an offense. Cam Ward needs to get ready. He's going into Denver week 1 on the road in one of the toughest places to play, especially early in the season when your body isn't used to the NFL stamina requirements, and you got to play in that elevation mile high in Denver. That's why it's so hard to play there early. You play a great playoff team like the Los Angeles Rams in week 2, coming home to a tough game. Like, Cam Ward needs to be ready. And if they go throughout this preseason and it's like, oh, he's going to get 2 series max on every game, it's an absolute mistake. Cam Ward needs to play early. He needs to play often. I would play Cam Ward at minimum the first quarter. Look, it's the first quarter. Likely in one quarter, you're probably only going to get 2 series, 3 series at max. So I'm not asking Brian Callahan to totally abandon what he's planning to do. I understand the idea here, but if the Titans come out and they have 2 bad series, let's say the Titans come out and they go 3 and out against Tampa Bay's backup defense, because Tampa Bay is a team who made the playoffs the last 2 seasons, who has won a playoff game. Tampa Bay is not going to play all of their starters, and they shouldn't. Tampa is the exact example of a team like Philly or like Baltimore or like Buffalo. Teams like that, they don't need to play their starters. Their players have earned it. Their players have proven that they are ready to go when it's time to play. All right? So Tampa Bay isn't going to play as many starters as the Titans should be playing. So if the Titans offense led by Cam Ward comes out there and goes 3 and out both their series, they shouldn't be done for the day. Maybe you could sit Calvin Ridley, or you could sit Dan Moore, or you could sit Chigakonkwo and Tony Pollard, stuff like. There are players who don't have to follow, but Cam Ward needs to be out there getting those reps. So I think to say, hey, if the report is true and it's 2 series at maximum, no way you're going over that. I just don't think that's the right way to go into the game doing it. Cam needs these reps and he needs to get ready as soon as possible. And since the offense hasn't been that great throughout training camp so far, that gives me even more reason to believe that Cam Ward should play the first quarter at minimum. If that's 2 series, that means that the Tennessee Titans probably had long series. You know what I mean? Like, the Titans were able to drive the ball, they were able to move the ball, they were able to do things. And if that's the case, then sure, 2 series is fine. If they have 2 5-minute drives in the first quarter and they get points on both drives, okay, great. But the idea that Cam Ward could come out and, have a 8-play drive that ends in a field goal and then he doesn't play the rest of the game because that's one drive and it was okay. Like, that's asinine to me. That's insane. That's not what needs to happen here. Like, if Patrick Mahomes is going to play the first quarter of the opening preseason game, then Cam Ward can do it too, and should be doing it too. So I just reject the idea that there's already he won't play more than this. Like, let's see how it goes. I'm not asking him to play the whole first half, but let's see how it goes. If they have 2 back-to-back 3-and-outs, that's not good enough. And again, it's not just Cam Ward. It's not just Cam Ward, in my opinion, that needs to play. Like, the only player, in my opinion, that you could look and say, he probably doesn't have to play and that he's earned the right to not play in the preseason if he doesn't want to, is Jeffery Simmons. And quite frankly, I reject that as well. That's the only player I could even hear an argument for. But I reject that narrative as well. Jeffery Simmons has had back-to-back disappointing seasons. He changed representation with his agency, and now there are conversations and noise out there that he wants new guaranteed money and he wants an extension. What are we talking about? Jeffery Simmons has not earned the contract that he signed a few years ago over the last 2 years. So how has he earned a new one and new guaranteed money? I need to see it. Big Jeff shouldn't get treated like Chris Jones or Aaron Donald, like we thought he might be. He has not become that level of player. So Jeffery Simmons shouldn't be sitting. There shouldn't be anybody. If you're healthy, you should be playing in this game. Now, according to the same report from PK, the defense is likely to only play 1 series. I can live with that because there's a lot more veteran players on that side, like Arden Key and Sebastian Joseph Day and Draymond Jones and Jeffery Simmons and Cody Barton and Amani Hooker and Xavier Woods, like Roger McCreary. Those are veteran-type players. I'm not as gung-ho but on offense, with all the young wide receivers and a brand-new offensive line that's been garbage the last 2 years and a rookie quarterback that hasn't had the greatest training camp and needs the reps, like, there's just no excuse to not give these guys ample reps in this game. Like, we can't just treat this like it's just preseason, play 1 drive and then come back. No, that's not good enough. We saw some of that last year with Will Levis, and they were not ready, and it was not good enough. So that's where I'm at. Starters need to play if they are healthy. Now, as for expectations, all right, you want to talk about expectations for Cam Ward? No turnovers. Don't turn over the ball. That's been a problem for you. It's a preseason game. You're running vanilla stuff. They're running vanilla stuff. Throw the ball. Get it out of your hands. Be accurate. Don't put it in harm's way. No fumbled snaps. No operational issues. Also, I want no penalties. No false starts. No illegal formations. No procedural penalties. The Titans were awful, god-awful with that stuff last year under Brian Callahan. I want to see it be different with better leadership under Cam Ward. Be decisive. Be quick. I want the timing to be good. Understand where you need to go with the ball. And just be a professional. I want it to look like a professional operation out there. So my expectations are very low. I would love to see from the offense 4 first downs, 1 explosive run, and 1 explosive pass play during their 3 drives. That's what I would be looking for. I want to see 1 good run for 10 yards and 1 good pass play for 15 to 20 yards. Get a couple of first downs. Don't be doing 3 and out and getting off the field. My expectations are low. I just want to see some semblance of offense. I want to see it look like a professional unit that isn't shooting itself in the foot. We're probably only going to get 1 series of the starting defense. So expectations there. You're not going to see Baker Mayfield. Tristan Wirfs isn't out there. No points. The Titans' starting defense should not give up points to whatever version of the Buccaneers' offense is out on the field. Period. But with that being said, let's zoom in. The players I'm most excited to watch, the rookie weapons, finally get a chance to shine. I cannot wait. To watch some of these rookie weapons. Today's bonus edition of Locked On Titans is brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever wish managing your money felt easier? With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending all in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. When I got with Monarch Money, I realized just how much I was spending on online shopping. Now I can budget smarter, save more. Plus, I've been getting into investing, so being able to track everything in one place is super, super efficient. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNFL for half off your first year. Titans fans, let's continue today's preview of the Tennessee Titans opening preseason game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We talked about why I think the starters need to play and why Cam Ward needs to play maybe a little bit more than what Brian Callahan is planning on. But now I want to zoom in and just talk about the guys I am so excited to watch in this game and where you should probably have your eye on things. Before I dive into it, I want to thank you again for making Locked On Titans your first listen each and every day. Remember, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content all year round. Heck, I do bonus episodes. We're in the middle of 13 straight days of Locked On Titans podcasts for you guys, so I don't take breaks. It's time to football. It's time to football, all right? So with that being said, some guys that I am interested to watch, players to watch, obviously Cam Ward. Cam Ward is the number one guy I'm going to have my eye on, but we talked all about Cam Ward before, so I want to move to talking about the weapons. And the number one guy out of all the rookie weapons that I'm most excited to watch is Elic Ayomanor. The 6'2", 200-pound receiver out of Stanford has gotten rave reviews in training camp. His ability to, use his body type and his body size to make contested catches, but also the way that he smoothly run routes and moves around out there. He really glides around on the field. Really good speed for a guy his size. Look, he came out of the Canadian system before he got into American college, and he's just not quite as refined as maybe some guys would be coming out of the United States of America playing that position, but that gives him immense potential, and we're already seeing some of that on display. Again, that whip route that he ran in one-on-ones against Tampa Bay, yeah, it's one-on-ones. It's designed for the offense to win, but the way that a guy at his size is able to sink his hips and explode out of his cuts and in his routes, I'm sorry, that's special. There's something special there. Again, rave reviews out of training camp. Everybody's hype about Elic Ayomanor, who's seen him on a day-to-day basis. I'm really excited to see what he can do. He's probably going to get some reps with the first team. If I'm Brian Callahan, the first drive, I'll focus on the veterans. Calvin Ridley, of course, Tyler Lockett, Van Jefferson, the starters for the Titans. But that second drive with Cam Ward, I want to see Chim DK. I want to see Elic Ayomanor out there. And I'm hype about Ayomanor. He's my most excited rookie to watch. But we do got to give some love to Chim DK. I think DK is going to be a huge factor, and it would be hilarious if everyone's excited about Restrepo because he's Cam's college teammate. Everybody's excited about Ayomanor because he seems to have the most high-end potential to turn into a special player. But Chim DK could actually be the most effective of the rookie wide receivers in year one because I think Tyler Lockett is the most susceptible to being jumped. Tyler Lockett right now is the starting slot wide receiver for the Titans. Chim DK is the backup slot wide receiver for the Titans, and I think DK is faster than Tyler Lockett. He also is a bigger body than Tyler Lockett at 6'1". He's got some size to him. So Chim DK can be the middle ground between the Tyler Boyd big physical slot, 6'2" physical slot, and then the Tyler Lockett smaller slot. Chim DK can kind of blend those two together and add a ton of speed and juice for those crossers and those deep routes and in-breaking routes over the middle of the field that Cam Ward likes so much. So I can't wait to see Chim DK. I can't wait to see Ayomanor. Obviously, we'll talk Restrepo, but I think I'm much more excited about Gunnar Helm. Gunnar Helm has been showing out. We're starting to hear the whispers from people who are on the field every day about him being tight end one this year, which is what I have predicted Gunnar Helm is a guy who just gets open over the middle of the field. He makes contested catches, and that's going to pair so well with Cam Ward's ability to throw the ball over the middle of the field and Cam Ward's tendency to maybe not be pinpoint accurate. The ball placement, maybe a little behind, maybe a little high, maybe a little this way. And Gunnar Helm's catch radius and ability to adjust himself to make those catches over the middle of the field with his route running savvy, I think it's a perfect combination with Cam Ward. It's something that we led a show with. I think it was last week I talked about Cam Ward is a gunslinger. And with that, he's not going to be pinpoint accurate like Tom Brady. And, you got to get players that, again, if you're honest, you can't say that Cam Ward's an A+ across the board at everything a quarterback can do. Not very many quarterbacks are, okay? I don't know if there has ever been one. Maybe Mahomes, but even Mahomes isn't an A+ runner like Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick. Josh Allen's a better runner. You know what I mean? So, if you're honest, where are Cam Ward's deficiencies? How do you support him in those areas with your roster decisions and the style of player that you put around Cam Ward? I think Gunnar Helm is a great example. I think Elic Ayomanor is a great example of how you do that. I think the Titans know that going into it, and that's why they looked at some big-bodied options as weapons. Van Jefferson in there as a free agent that they signed. So I think you take all those things into account. I'm very excited to watch Gunnar Helm. And with Gunnar Helm being tight end 2 right now on the depth chart, I think he'll get some opportunities in the 2 tight end sets that the Titans run with the first team. And he's going to get opportunities into the second quarter with the second team offense. I wouldn't expect to see Gunnar Helm or, honestly, Elic Ayomanor or Chim DK. I wouldn't expect to see too much of those guys into the second half, I wouldn't think. But, very excited to see what they do. And listen, it's not all pass catchers and weapons and this and that. I go to the offensive line. I want to see how the first team offensive line gels. I don't think we're going to see them more than those 1 or 2 series, quite honestly. But I want to see how this first team offensive line gels. And is Kevin Zeitler going to play? He's 35 years old. They've been managing him. I could see them saying, hey, we're not going to have you out there, but I think that would be a mistake. If he's so old that he can't properly gel with his teammates, then maybe you shouldn't have signed him. We need someone who's out there and can get chemistry with the team. If he's too old, then he should have been too old to sign. No, he's not too old is the point. He should be out there. Kevin Zeitler should be out there with the rest of the healthy offensive line. Corey Levin at center, since Lloyd Cushenberry isn't ready yet. That's what we should see. But the player that would be playing in place of Kevin Zeitler, if Zeitler doesn't play, is someone I'm also very excited to watch, and it's Jackson Slater. Jackson Slater has also been getting good reviews coming out of camp. He's been very good in the run game. And look, Zeitler's 35. If he can't hold up throughout the season, if he doesn't stay healthy, if he does begin to wear down, knowing that Jackson Slater is a solid replacement or a solid guy waiting in the wings to step up in that spot, that would be huge for the Titans. That would be huge. So I'm very excited to see Jackson Slater. And then finally at offensive tackle, Jalen Duncan is another guy who's been a big star in training camp. He's been very impressive. Second team, offensive tackle. I want to see this new Jalen Duncan. I don't know if I believe it. I want to see this new Jalen Duncan. I want to see him dominate these second, third string players that we're going to see from Tampa Bay because they're not going to play very many other starters. I want to see some of these backup players go against the new and improved Jalen Duncan and see how he handles it because I just don't know. And then finally, Brandon Crenshaw-Dickson, the undrafted free agent tackle out of Florida. I was very interested in him when he signed as a undrafted free agent with the Tennessee Titans after the draft. I want to see how he does in this environment. I kind of have hope he can be like the practice squad developmental tackle for the Titans, so can't wait to see how he does there. But with that in mind, we do got to go to the defensive side of the ball because that's where there are guys who are noteworthy, who are missing. Also, that's where Femi Oladejo and James Williams are, so can't wait to talk about those guys. And don't forget about special teams. Today's bonus episode is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or you're just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one. For your energy game, let's be honest, some days on the course or off it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. Golf is always a good time with good people and good flavors. Of course, the grape, ginger, lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the bev card. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that's the number 5hourenergy.com. You can use my promo code LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order Transfusion flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today. Titans fans, let's cap off today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast, previewing the Titans preseason opener against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, as a reminder, I am going to be going live immediately after the game ends on Saturday night to break down everything you need to know, reviewing all of the players that I've been talking about watching, my expectations. Cannot wait to talk about a real Tennessee Titans football game with you guys. Make sure you get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day here on the Locked On Titans podcast. But moving to the defensive side of the ball. Again, my players to watch. We talked about Cam Ward. We talked about Elic Ayomanor and the other weapons. Now I want to move to defense, Femi Oladejo. We got to start there. He is running with the first team, the Tennessee Titans defense. I know he was second string on the depth chart, but in the pass rush situations, he's been out there with the Titans as an edge. Heard reports that he was getting into the backfield and disrupting Baker Mayfield during joint practices. Femi Oladejo is ahead of the curve so far in training camp, and I'm very excited to see how he performs in live action when he really can just unleash off the line of scrimmage with all that energy and that tenacity and his physical strength. I just can't wait to watch this guy fire off the line of scrimmage. I mean, to me, Femi Oladejo looks like Hercules. Femi Oladejo looks like a Greek god. He looks like Black Panther. Like, I want to call Femi the Black Panther. You know, like, he just looks like he looks like a superhuman. He really does. He looks like a superhuman. That guy could play Black Panther, and I don't think it would be crazy. Like, just absolutely nasty. The way he plays, how violent he is off the line of scrimmage. I cannot wait to watch Femi Oladejo play. Like, just go out there and attack, and he should get to play a lot. Femi should play a lot. I know he's important to the team. You don't want him getting hurt, but against these backup offensive linemen for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that's when he needs to develop his pass rush moves. That's when he really needs to work on what his one or two moves are going to be. Femi is a guy who needs to play a ton in the preseason. Also, let's see James Williams. Let's see James Williams next to Cody Barton as the starting linebacker. I'm excited for that, but also Cedric Gray behind him. If James Williams has already won the starting job like it seems like he has, then Cedric Gray behind him is going to get a ton of reps in the preseason. It'll be a good opportunity for us to get to see him after he was injured last year and didn't get as many reps as James Williams. The young cornerbacks, Marcus Harris, Jamari Harris, Gabe Jeudy-Lawley, Davion Ross, Clarence Lewis, who seemed like he had struggles in the one-on-ones for sure. But there are a lot of young corners, Jalen Kimber, that I want to just see if any of these guys are worth it. All right, some of them are going to be bad, okay? So just excited to see how some of these young corners perform, just so we can get answers on, should I care about this player? Is he a possible roster option or not? Finally, special teams. Special teams better be better. And the returners, we heard it was bad when people were punt returning that weren't James Prochet. I would let Prochet get one or two and then move on. Prochet's a veteran. You know what he can do as the punt returner. You know what he can do. It's time to find out if anybody else can do it. That is what we'll be interested in. And then special teams coverage units. Don't take a break. Don't go get a drink. Don't go get a snack when the Titans are punting or kicking off or anything like that. You need to have your eye on those guys, because the people who perform out there are the people who are going to make the roster. Because we basically, the people who are going to play real football positions for the Titans, we basically know who they are. You could look at 20, 30, maybe even 40 guys who we know are making this team already. There's really only about 7 or 8 spots that are open. And those guys are going to be special teams players. So keep your eye on that. But with that being said, that is going to do it. Oh, wait. No T'Vondre Sweat. No Kevin Winston. Sad on Kevin Winston. Worried about T'Vondre Sweat. Sad on Kevin Winston. But those are the guys who aren't going to play. I wouldn't expect like Blake Hance to play either. Guys who have been banged up in that way. And again, I got my eye on Zeitler and Jeff Simmons as guys, Amani Hooker as well, who just might not play because the Titans just don't want to play them. But with that being said, that is going to do it for me today, folks. I'll be back with you live on Saturday night after the game. As always, I am your host, Tyler Rowland, and this was Locked On Titans.